Hello everybody and welcome to a beginner's guide to Machamp. This is going to be everything you need to know about Machamp. You're going to see in the description links to different areas of the video if you want to skip ahead to someplace, like the gameplay or the best items or so on and so forth. Hopefully they'll show up as chapters, but sometimes they don't. Machamp, really strong, really nice all-arounder, has been strung for a little while, but a little bit tricky to get the hand of, and I'm going to tell you all about it. First, we're going to start with the stats, then we're going to go ahead and show you each of the moves. Then we're going to talk about the best items from Machamp, and then finally we're going to go ahead and show you some gameplay. So, let's get into it. Let's start with the stats and the moves. Alright, so Machamp is a physical attacker, meaning that he scales from the attack stat. That would be the attack instead of the special attack stat. Definitely very important to know. The reason why this is so important is because if you max out any of your special attack or use different items that give you more special attack, it's a bit of a waste. Honestly, what the item does can sometimes make up for it, but generally speaking, if you're an attack-based Pokemon, you want to be using attack-based items, and if you're special attack-based Pokemon, you want to be using special attack-based items. Makes some sense, right? Let's go in there and start by talking about the passive ability, which is called Guts, right here. This increases the Pokemon's attack when the Pokemon is afflicted by a status condition. Basically, the stats go up whenever you are slowed or stunned or so on and so forth. Anytime you're afflicted by a status condition, a burn, etc., your stats will increase. Your attack stat will increase. And attack is going to be a really big portion of Machamp's ability, but you can see here that just by that passive alone, you can kind of tell this guy is designed to kind of take some damage and then put out a lot of damage in return. So let's go ahead and talk about the basic attacks. Every third basic attack is a boosted attack that deals increased damage when it lands successfully. It also has a little bit of extra range, which you'll see during the game. You'll see that third attack has a little bit of extra range to it, which is really nice for kind of securing some kills if you can get that last attack off. Your basic attack damage at level 15 without any additional multipliers is 479, and your boosted attack is 718. So not quite twice that. So it would have been almost 1,000 damage if it was twice that. So that tells me that the boosted attack does not scale super hard off of his attack stat, which is not unusual for an all-arounder. So the first two abilities that you start with is Karate Chop and Bulk Up. I suggest starting Karate Chop. No matter where you're going, whether it's the jungle or not, Karate Chop is going to be your best. Attacks opposing Pokemon with a sharp chop. Well, bam! At level 15, this would do 1,400 damage, but you're never going to have this at level 15 unless you're doing something funky. And so, generally speaking, don't worry about this for these guys. What you need to know is that it's going to be a sharp chop. It's honestly a bit of a auto attack reset. So you want to be like kind of moving it in, weaving it in with your auto attacks. Auto attack, chop, auto attack. You know, something like that. You can then upgrade that to close combat or cross chop. My favorite between these two by far is close combat, but a lot of people like cross. Close combat unleashes a series of punches in the designated direction, dealing increased damage with the last punch. The user can move while using this move and becomes immune to hindrances. 2,521 damage at level 15. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. And then your other option is cross chop. Has the user deliver a double chop with forearms crossed while dashing forward. This also increases the user's critical hit rate. So it kind of depends, I suppose, on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do a glass cannon-y kind of Machamp build, I can see how cross chop can be more useful. It's going to increase your crit rate, which is pretty good for Machamp because you're putting out a lot of autos. But at the same time, and the dash is nice, what I like about close combat so much is that it combos so well into your other abilities. It really is nice to kind of get a little bit of lockdown and then unleash a full close combat, which you are allowed to move during, does a ton of damage, and then also has that nice big kind of bursty last punch to it. I like close combat more than cross chop, but cross chop is very useful as well. Big damage difference, but again, this is a dash. This is a damage dealing ability. And then the crit rate, depending on your build, can be very useful as well here for cross chop. The other ability you get though is Bulk Up. After using this move, the user becomes immune to hindrances for a short time. Their movement speed and attack are increased, and their basic attack speed is increased. The user's next basic attack also becomes a boosted attack. Honestly, if you want to start Bulk Up instead of Karate Chop for your level 1, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. From a jungle speed, it was basically 0 difference, but I like going Karate Chop just because it's kind of like a good last hitting ability in case someone's trying to steal something from you. You can use it to last hit at least. whereas bulk up, you're just relying on your auto attacks there. In addition, a slightly lower cooldown for Karate Chop also makes it a little bit nicer for the early game. But you get bulk up as soon as you can. Bulk up's really good, and then it's kind of built into the other ones here, right? So after you get up to level 7, you upgrade to Dynamic Punch or Submission. Dynamic Punch has never been the popular one. Submission is better, and I'll tell you why. But I think that might change one day. So, Dynamic Punch has the user jump to the designated location, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect and leaving them unable to act when it hits. After using this move, the user becomes immune to hindrances for a short time, their movement speed is increased, and their basic attack speed is increased. The user's next basic attack also becomes a boosted attack. So this is really, really nice. If you combo it, you have to be kind of like on top of your game though. With this, you want to be kind of doing 1, 2, 3 basic attacks. So it's basic, boosted, dynamic punch, auto attack. Would give you basically the equivalency of basic, boosted attack, dynamic, another boosted attack. So when you time dynamic punch correctly, it gives you a little bit of a dash, not much, a very small amount of a dash. And then it does give you a decent amount of damage here, 1240, and then plus another boosted attack. It increases your basic attack speed as well, which we know is really, really useful for Machamp. This might be something that can build better into a more tanky bruiser-based build than Submission, but I'm going to get into Submission now. Submission is a hindrance, and it is one of the best hindrances in the entire game. So it's really tough to sit here and ever not take Submission. Like I said, there's times, I think, but let's talk about Submission. The Pokemon's movement speed is increased, and it can't be stunned. So you become immune to stuns, and you go extra fast, which is really good. Increases the damage next basic attack, and knocks the opposing opponent Pokemon back, making them unable to move. Basically, and you'll see this in game, it's more like it throws it over your shoulder more than anything. Increases crit hit and makes basic attack faster for a short time. So even there, it's increasing your critical hit damage and making your basic attack speed a little bit faster. So it gets a bit of what Dynamic Punch does. It's like it's keeping bulk up a little bit throughout these, with the immune to hindrance on both of those, as well as the little bit of a stamina boost to you guys. So Submission, I think, is better 9 times out of 10 with hindrance. The hindrance is so strong. The where it can move you in positioning is so powerful. I think that an optimized Dynamic Punch build for a tanky bruiser would be phenomenally good. But in most cases, 9 times out of 10, I think Submission is going to just give you more value over time. So about the Unite ability, one of my favorite Unite abilities in the entire game, Barrage Blow. Increase the user's movement speed, attack, defense, and special defense for a short time. If used again, unleashes a combo attack dealing damage to the opposing Pokemon in the area of effect and shoving them. The final blow deals an especially large amount of damage. It's basically like close combat, to be honest. It looks the same as close combat. It acts the same as close combat. You're moving this whole time. It's an area of effect in front of you. It's shoving them and pushing them away. The final blow deals an especially large amount of damage. You want to be using Barrage Blow when the opponent has no place to run, basically. You want to kind of pin them between a rock and a hard place, so to say, where you're the rock. And so you kind of push them up against the wall. Maybe you toss them over your shoulder first with Submission to get them to be stunned briefly, and then you're going to be slamming their faces with this. It's important to know that you don't have to use your Unite passive and active ability at the same time. You can use your Unite, which is going to give you that increased movement speed, attack, defense, and special defense, and then beat them up a little bit first before using the second portion of your Unite, kind of like old Charizard used to be, where you're going to go ahead and do the punching and everything like that. So there you go. Barrage Blow, phenomenally strong. Look at this, 6,000 damage on your ult. That would be if you hit everything. You don't often, but sometimes you do. And the reason why I kind of like close combat is because Barrage Blow actually combos really well with it. Barrage Blow, beating them, push them into the wall. Now they're stuck. Now they're CC'd with the last one doing a large amount of damage and shoving them. And then following it up with the close combat means you do another huge amount of damage at 2,521, and then you shove them at the end as well. Really powerful overall build here between close combat, Submission, and Barrage Blow. Like I said, dynamic, occasionally useful. Cross Chop is useful too. Honestly, Machamp has a really good kit, and you can make almost anything work here, but Submission's pretty standard, and then these two are basically pretty even here. Alright, stats. Stats are very important for any Pokemon. First thing you're going to notice here is that it's got a bit more health than most of the other kind of mid-range squishy Pokemon, more than a Venusaur, more than a Pikachu, and that makes sense. They're an all-arounder. All-arounders are kind of like tanky-ish bruisers, and so that's what we're looking at here is a decent amount of HP for sure. Now we're going to look at attack. 479. Pretty good. He's pretty high up on the base attack, and this is going to make things... he's a little bit higher than Snorlax, if I remember correctly. Just by a little bit, though, and definitely higher than Crustle, but not as high as some of the other the auto attackers. He's got a lot of potential ability to scale off of attack, but that's not necessarily what you're going to want to use Machamp for. Machamp is not really a ninja assassin. There's a lot of value you can get from having extra attack on him, but look at this defense. 490 defense. That is thick. This dude is built to be going toe-to-toe with other sort of AD-based champions, other auto-attack-based champions. So whenever you're playing him against Cinderace or something, if you can close the distance and save your submission for after they use their feint or their dodge or whatever, you can absolutely destroy guys. Absolutely destroy pretty strong auto-attack-based Pokemon with this huge attack, this huge defense score. And that wouldn't include whenever you have Barrage Blow Up or any other items you may have. Big attack stat right there. Special attack is nothing and should be nothing. He doesn't use this for anything. Special defense, not bad, at 320. And speed, slightly above the average at 3,700. So a good Pokemon right here. Very strong, very bruiser base. Wants to be on the map as much as possible, going from lane to lane and causing disruptions. Dynamic Punch with a little bit of an ability to lock down people there, and Submission with this huge hindrance that is just pretty standard for him right now. All right, there you go. There's Machamp. Let's go ahead and talk. Let's actually go ahead and show you guys the moves, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about the best items. And there's a lot of good items here, so stay tuned for that. Let's get into it. All right, we are loading in here with Machamp into a practice round just to show you guys all the abilities. Like I said, I do generally recommend starting with Chop here, and the reason why I like Karate Chop to start with is just that it kind of gives you a little bit of an ability to last hit. Look at that amount of damage. And then there you go. You see that kind of suction? That's that third attack there that I was talking about. Right now I'm going to show you guys basically lane Machamp. This is how lane Machamp would kind of work. If you've got a teammate that's kind of trying to take the last hits and you want them, oh, do you see that combo? That Karate Chop combo? That's what I'm talking about. Once you get your bulk up, it kind of helps you kind of kill them a little bit faster, but you really want to be using that Karate Chop in order to get that final hit most times, right? But the really important thing to know is just you're going to crit there, but if you can use that Karate Chop right there, it's almost as if I did two auto attacks at the same time, because it was like 1, 2. That was even a little bit slow, but if you can kind of get that perfectly matched up, again, it's kind of situational, because that third attack does kind of give you a little bit of a, there you go, a little bit of a stutter in the frame. Like when it pulls you forward, I'll show you. 1, 2, 3. Do you see that? How it suctions you over there? So that's kind of what I was talking about, how it has extra range. I guess it doesn't technically really have extra range. It just brings you closer into range. Might be a more accurate way of going about it. But so there's a couple different ways of playing early Machamp. Right now we have Bulk Up and Karate Chop. Bulk Up just kind of makes you immune and gives you extra attack speed. And I think a little bit of extra attack damage too. But it's really not that much of a difference, I don't think. We'll find out. You know what? Let's test it. Here you go. You ready? Wait for the reset. On the data. Bop. That was 1 attack. Now I have a Muscle Band on. Base attack damage was 201. Total damage 561. That's a lot of damage. Let's go ahead and use Bulk Up. And then we're going to go 1 attack. 346. 346 there. So definitely a pretty decent amount of extra damage on the Bulk Up there. So, and then this is a Karate Chop damage. Whew, 727. Not bad at all for level 4. Now again, I do have some items on here, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's look at Submission first. We'll look at the most popular one first. So basically, Submission, first of all, speeds you up. You're unstoppable. And then when you auto attack when someone's in range, you grab them and you throw them over your shoulder. At this point, while I have that still going on, I still have that extra attack speed and that extra crit chance and all that beautiful fun stuff. Let's go back. What is it again? You get increased movement speed. Can't be stunned. Increased damage on the next basic attack. That's the one that throws them over your shoulder. And increased crit hit and basic attacks are faster. So your little stand boost. So Submission you can run with for quite a while. And then you go ahead and you grab it and you put it over your shoulder, right? And total basic attack damage on that was 780. That's basically the same as it was with it's as if Bulk Up's on. But that, like, first of all, man, you got a long time to run. Auto attack, throw him over your shoulder. That hindrance is 1 second stun, but look at the displacement. We just moved him from there to there. And when you can combo that into other moves, that's when you really get going here. So, I mean, if you're up there and you're fighting them, you want to do 1, 2, 3, fluff, boom. That would be like the best kind of combo you could do if you're already fighting them. If you're already kind of up in their face. That's 7,195 damage in a fairly quick amount of time. Now, if you're not, if you need to catch up to them first, there's nothing wrong with using submission to catch up, grab them, throw them, and then comboing it into a karate chop, and then your auto attacks is you're kind of making sure you're staying on the other side of them, keeping them from getting back to their teammates or their goals. Let's go to level 7 now. We're going to start with close combat. Close combat, again, my personal favorite, but cross chop is really good, and we'll get to that in just a second. This is what close combat looks like from when you're just holding it. It's got a pretty decent range, but what's important to realize is that, boom, there you go. You move while doing it. So close combat is just this damage in front of you, but you can move like this. You see how I'm kind of moving around? And what's nice about this is that you're kind of chasing these guys around while you're doing this damage. You're not locked in one area. You're moving it around with them. So the pretty common, if you're already fighting them, a pretty common combo would be like auto attack, auto attack. Always try to get that third auto attack off. Gonna submission into a close combat right there like that. So while they're still kind of stunned and trying to get out of the damage you're putting into them, you're gonna punch them in the face more. 1, 2, 3, close. Either way that you're doing it, you want to make sure that you're kind of autoing once or twice in between every time that you're doing that. At least once, if not more than once. But let's go ahead and level up to level 9. This is when we get our Unite move. Unite move is very good. Okay, first thing about the Unite move that I want to make sure you guys see is that you can use it, and now I have it, and you see that the timer's going down, but I have all the auto attack, I'm still immune, and now I might use it. Bam. That combo is really nice into close combat and then a submission at the end, or submission first. Whatever you want to do, the point is that your Unite move has a lot of, that was 22,000 damage in not that long of a period of time. And it would have been AoE as well. The important thing to keep in mind is just that your Unite move has a massive amount of range. It has a massive amount of utility that isn't just locked into you using it for that's a perfect example of being able to move there. But yes, you definitely want to make sure that you're using that Unite move in a way where you're not going to be cutting out the potential value you have from it from using the active part too fast. It's got multiple parts. Now, you can see here that really Machamp is not the best jungler. I think that during my Absol video, that jungle is way, 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 way faster. But so he's not the fastest jungler at this level or probably any level. So keep that in mind. He's a decent jungler though, but he just doesn't have the burst kind of damage for these low tankiness mobs. And like an Absol with the crits and the ability to just pursuit into backstabs all the time is really good actually for Dreadnought. Pursuit Absol can take Dreadnoughts really fast. Let's get out of here though and show you guys the next build path. Alright, here we are. We're back in game. I'll show you the other build path right now. We're going to go Karate Chop first. I'm going to show you basically what a jungle would look like. Just real quick here. Green always, the little doggy boy, I can't remember the name right now, always goes to the north. When this area here is a sandy area, the sandy side of the map, then it always goes to the south. So that's something to keep in mind. But not a bad clear. Just make sure you're kind of staying at the edge of that range so you can kind of lead into the next one. I like to use bulk up in order to get to my other camp. You don't waste too much of it because it's got a pretty long useful value there. And then we're going to get right over here. We're going to use bulk up to finish. Always make sure you're going basically auto attack into karate chop early on. That's the best value that you can get is going to be auto karate. And we got to get out of the way here. Oh, apparently I walked back into it at the last second there. And then we're just going to finish him up real quick. So not bad. We actually were able to clear that well before the natural XP got us to level 5. In fact, we literally can't level to level 5 because we leveled so fast now. It's okay. But it is a really fast clear, and that's something to definitely keep in mind. If we went into a lane right now, we would have easily gotten level 5 right there. Let's look at Dynamic Punch first, right? So, Karate Chop, 791, pretty good, honestly, still at this level. But Dynamic Punch is going to have this little dash and an AoE damage ability. This is really nice, actually, for clearing things. There you go. Total move damage, 692. Nowhere near as much as what Submission does for you, but it is an AoE, and it's got no hindrance, but it does do it does kind of give you extra crit and stuff like that. I think from my experience, it's definitely more than what you would see from submission. It does give a little bit of a stun briefly right in the middle there. And I'll show you on another Pokemon. I'll show you on the Blissey over there so you can kind of see it better. But really, with the purpose of, for me at least, what Dynamic always does better than what Submission can do is that it's that little dash followed by, which is a great gap closer, followed by a pretty insane amount of auto attack damage. So it's really good for clearing out mobs if you're trying to do a build that kind of focuses on like just farming and getting in and out and putting damage down like that. There you go. You see that incapacitate? There you go. So it's got the stun on it. It does have that hindrance. I don't know why it wasn't showing it really on the tester, but it absolutely has that hindrance. So if you're going for a moveset like this, a dynamic punch and a cross chop, you're going to be missing out on a lot of the active damage. But what you do have is two dashes that give you a lot of mobility, and then the ability to clear really quickly, as well as to kind of get into people's faces pretty quickly. One of the things you really got to keep in mind, though, whenever you're playing a Machamp here, or any, is that you want, there you go, using the cross chop to get back through them. It's not a lot of damage, but it does add up. But the big thing about when you're kind of using this build path, or build path similar to this, is that it's all about trying to weave in as many auto attacks as possible. So if you're going to be going a cross chop dynamic, your goal is to be getting autos. So you're just trying to alternate in your autos as much as possible. When you have close combat, there's a lot more value actually to just getting into a position where you can use that close combat. This is very, very auto attack based build, and there's crit in here too. But one of the things I'm going to show you right now is that it's not about the crit really for Machamp. There's a few different build paths that can be really good with them. Let's go and check them out. Alright, we're here to talk about the best items for Machamp. And Machamp as a tanky bruiser can kind of be played a little bit in two different ways. He can go more on the tanky side, he can go more on the attack damage side. There's a few things I don't think I'd go without on a Machamp, but there's a lot of things that I think you could use but don't have to use. Score Shield's pretty decent on just about everybody. I have no problem with you using Score Shield, especially if you're going to be lane champing. If you are a lane champ and not a jungle champ, I think the Score Shield has some extra potential value to you. It's not a must, but it is a can-do. Ao's Cookie is really nice as well, especially if you're going to be, again, in the lane. Anything that's going to allow you to kind of stack up your health. We talk about a little bit on this channel. We talk a bit about on this channel, honestly. The not concept, the fact that the higher your defense stats, the more valuable every unit of health is. Well, Machamp has some pretty darn decent defense stats. He's got 490 defense and 320 special defense. That's pretty beefy. I think it's beefier than Charizard. It's beefier than most pretty standard non-tank Pokemon here. So every unit of health you have is going to be really valuable. Well, health is given to you by Score Shield, health is given you by Aos, and Aos gives you increased health. It stacks, I think, up to 6 times what Aos Cookie does whenever you're scoring. Well, that's an extra, 600 health plus whatever base health you have. That, in addition to your stats, is a 10% increase on your survivability. It's pretty big. Attack weight can be used here on Machamp. Anything that's going to boost your attack is going to boost your damage. This would be more of like a crit build, more of a damage dealing, not very tanky, sustainy kind of build. I think attack weight is viable here on Machamp, but I wouldn't put it I would not put this as the optimal build for him. I would not have an attack weight in my optimized build for him. Muscle Band is nearly a requirement for Machamp. Muscle Band is nearly required, as close to nearly as possible. The basic attack is really good, but the attack speed is what you really want with him. He is an attack speed monster. The extra 3% of opposing Pokemon's remaining HP makes him really, really good in that first portion of a fight, and makes him really good against tanks and stuff. When there's not a lot of people who are really great against tanks, Muscle Band on this boy does really well. So I think Muscle Band is almost required, if not actually required, for most Machamp's build. Especially, this is for bruisers. If you're going for a crit-based build, you can probably not use this. A crit-based build on him might be a close combat kind of deal. But honestly, you know what? I don't even know if I can say that accurately, man. Muscle Band is nearly required. Scope Lens is pretty good on him. Scope Lens has that increased critical attack. Increase the damage of basic attack, critical hits. The higher the Pokemon's attack, the more the damage increased. He's got a decent amount of damage of base attack to scale this with. The crit hit rate percentage and crit hit damage really nice as well. But I'm going to be honest. Scope Lens, it's good, it's fun, it's bursty, but I don't think that this is the best item for Machamp. I think that it's good, it's viable, and you can get a lot of damage. But I think that his defense stats are so high, you really want to go for more of a long-term play with him. Wise Glass is a no-go. Shell Bell is a no-go. Energy Amplifier is a good deal for him as well. I don't think Energy Amplifier is great on anybody. I don't think it's spectacular must-have on anybody, but this is one of the Pokemon that definitely benefits a bit more than the average with an Energy Amplifier. And the reason why I say this is you see that when you use the attack, your Unite move, you have a period of time in which you're still under your Unite ability, where you're getting this bonus, and you're not actually necessarily using the active portion. And then you use the active portion. So an extra 14% increased damage is pretty good. And the charge rate is kind of long for Machamp's ability. The cooldown is nice for it, and the cooldown on his overall kit is really nice as well. So Energy Amplifier is a good option here for a kind of sustainy long-term build. I would say maybe better for a jungle, because I really think having Eos or Score Shield's really good for a lane. If you're in the jungle, I think an Energy Amplifier becoming a powerhouse at 9 is a pretty good play. But it's important to remember that Energy Amplifier only activates when it is that you're ulting, when you're using your Unite ability. So most times, it's not going to give you much value besides that little bit of a cooldown rate. So definitely, this makes you very one-sided if you use an Energy Amplifier on Machamp. You're rotating around that ultimate, but when you use it, you will melt people. Razor Claw. I do not like Razor Claw on Machamp. There is a full crit build, Machamp build you can do. You'll do a decent amount of damage with it. You'll be pretty beefy and pretty tanky. He has decently short cooldowns, but it's not going to be like a Talonflame or an Absol, who absolutely rock with Razor Claw. I don't think I'd recommend this generally for most Machamp builds unless you're being kind of off meta. Choice Specs is just a no-go. Don't grab it ever for Machamp. We're on to defenses. Defenses are surprisingly good on Machamp. And the reason why is because, like I said before, every unit of health is way more valuable than you think it is. Rocky Helmet I don't love on him. He has really good base defense. The health would be nice, and the extra damage to people who are around you is great, but I really don't think that you want to be focused that much as Machamp. You want to kind of be soaking some damage, but not tanking an entire team. Rocky Helmet is really more for tanking an entire team. If you wanted to go between Rocky Helmet or Assault Vest would probably be the way to go. It boosts up your special defense a little bit, gives you some health, and gives you a shield that nullifies special attack damage, which is kind of useful because he does have significantly less special defense than he does normal defense. Out of the two of these, this is the one I would go, but again, I don't think it's optimized. Weakness policy is. Alright, why? So, Machamp has a really pretty decent 479 base attack. At this level here, at level 10 weakness policy, you get 10% additional attack when it's fully stacked. Well, that's going to be about 50 or so, just under 50 extra attack for you here if with Machamp at a level 10 weakness policy. Gives you HP, which, as we've discussed, is really, really nice. It synergizes very well with your defense stats. Gives you a little bit of extra attack, just base. I really like weakness policy on Machamp. I think that any bruiser, any all-arounder is going to benefit very, very highly from weakness policy. I don't believe that Machamp's going to get as much value as Charizard does, who gets insane value from this unit right here, this ability. But it's pretty good. Let's get the other ones, though. Leftover is not good base gun. Anybody, honestly, and Focus Band, actually pretty good here if you wanted it. Like I said, a decent health pool and a decent amount of defense makes Focus Band fairly useful. It gives you a base amount of defense as well. I don't think that this is his best one here, but Focus Band can be used nicely if you're going for a very tanky bruiser build for Machamp. Machamp has so many variations you can do. It's pretty funny. Buddy Barrier, honestly, not bad at all. He's got a lot of health, and so that extra shield can be really useful. The reason where the extra health is very, very useful, the shield is pretty useful. The reason why I would maybe not go Buddy Barrier in lieu of some of the other ones, I think the other ones might have some more overall value. And it's kind of important to remember that when you're on your ultimate, your Unite move, that shield's great, but you typically don't die as Machamp on your Unite move. You're typically making other people die. So Buddy Barrier is really good. It's really versatile. It can save you in a pinch. It can really turn a fight if you're already losing it when you use your Unite ability. But generally speaking, I think there's probably better ones out there. I would put this in the mid tier for Machamp. Floatstone, pretty darn good on Machamp. Definitely more of like that aggressive attacky build. The extra movement speed is really nice when not in combat. This makes you a bit of a menace on the map. You're running around like a madman, absolutely murking people, hitting them in the face, and causing a lot of damage because your movement speed when you're going from spot to spot is so fast here. 15% at level 10 when not in combat. You get a little bit of a bonus to attack, which helps you regardless, and then additional extra movement speed. That combined with your multiple abilities that give you extra movement speed, really useful. XP share, don't ever. You should not be playing him a champ if you're relegated to a support role. If you're going to be supporting, do not go Machamp, go a support or a tank. XP share, no good on Machamp. There you go. Let's get into some gameplay now. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, we've grabbed our Machamp here. Now I'm going to go ahead and just switch up some things. I'm going to remove Scope Lens because I do not want to be super auto attack heavy here. Let's see, are we going... Hold on, let me just pick something first. I'm going to go Aeos Cookie first, but I'm going to check to see. Am I going mid? I will go mid. Looks like we're going to go mid here. We're going to call mid, which is fine, and I'm going to actually switch out. This is not going to give me as much value as it would otherwise. I'm going to go ahead and go with the energy amplifier. Boom. Okay. So we're certainly going a bit more of a bursty kind of build here. I don't mind it. We don't have another tank, but we have a Charizard, which is kind of pretty much like a tank. And so we're building basically for that really, really heavy synergy coming out of the jungle. We've called jungle. We'll see if we get jungle, I guess, but because Charizard could always go in there instead. Or Gardevoir. You know, who knows in this game sometimes. But we are building as if we're going to be in the jungle, power farming as fast and as hard as possible to get to level 9, and then absolutely dominating on the map. We do not have a Fluffy Tail. I like Fluffy Tail. I think that in higher elos you see Fluffy Tail a lot because they understand the importance of getting objectives. So one person always brings a Fluffy Tail. It may not always be the jungler, honestly, but somebody always seems to be bringing it in the highest elos. That being said, it's okay at this. I'm doing a standard game right now. I am currently, at the time of recording this, Class 5 of Ultra. I'm one away from Masters, or I'm sorry, 2 or 3 wins away from Masters right now. So we're gonna do our best to show you the standard game, though. Whenever I'm testing builds and just kind of doing guides, I like to be going. Okay, we're going north. I like to be doing not ranked. Okay, so the reason why it was north is because this is a green area. This part of the map is green. I was very confident that it would not be going, that little buddy there would not be going to the south. He'd be going to the north. If you are in the zone that has that is all sandy, then it's going south. Okay, and that's just a little bit of a tip for jungling. Bulk up. Try to alter in that karate chop as fast as possible. First goal by them. There's 3 people down bot right now. He still hits when I'm behind him, which is a little bit annoying. What are we looking to do? I get submission. I might come down here to mid. We're going to counter jungle. Counter gank this. I knew he was in there, so I was able to just run in there real quick and get a quick little punch on his face. And we might be able to actually get a lot of damage done here. Boom! Triple kill there for Machamp. Really early in. Phenomenal counter gank. And I'm ready to go. If this guy follows in, we're gonna cause him a lot of trouble here. I don't know what this guy's doing. I almost don't even want to focus on him, honestly, but we will. I really want to make sure we're securing as much of this as possible. We want to go back. We're going to go back. We're going to grab close combat, which is the one that I prefer, and we're going to look towards top. We're going to start bottom, and we're going to basically just cause some damage here and clear out the jungle as fast as we can. Boom. And then go up top and try to get some pressure up top. So, auto, he's going to start his animation. We're going to flip him out of it. That's kind of technically the best way to go about it. And then we're going to be level 8. Man, I want 9. We're going to just punch to get in there a little bit. Okay. They're kind of pushed up in bot. And I think I can maybe get to, well, Garchomp's Gardevoir's leaving to go and farm a little bit and not defend anything. I'm going to look for getting 9 here. Wow, I cannot believe he just killed me there. Just like a lucky crit right there is what actually killed me. And he has basically 0 health as he goes and dunks that. We're going for level 9. They destroy the goal, and unfortunately, I need 9. I need level 9. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in time to disrupt their ability to take whatever it's called. I'm going to try. Nope, I don't get to do it. We're gonna kill them both because that's just what I do at this level here. And we're gonna run. We know that nobody should be here. We're gonna run and get this big score here. And there you go. So, a little bit unfortunate. This Absol's doing well. Our team's not really doing that well. But it is what it is, kind of at this moment. Let's see if we can't maybe disrupt that Absol. Nah. Absol's just going to get a huge dunk up top after killing everybody on our team. And Absol's really strong right now. We got a little bit unfortunate. It was a little bit sad, honestly. The crit that we had to deal with. We're just going to go in there and bop. And then run out. I was trying to steal whatever I could, basically. Is this guy... Does he finish this? I'm going to try to take it, because I just don't think that this guy's good enough. And that's just the truth. I'm sorry. But, my teammates just aren't very... They can't carry this game, I don't think, whereas I might be able to. So I'm looking to basically get up a bunch of XP here and get ready to destroy. I have to go. We have to not use our ults. There was an ult right there used by Cinderace. We're pretty happy about that, honestly. And we're okay. We're gonna kill that guy. Now we're here. I'm just waiting. I can't believe that dude just killed our team. That sucks. The fact that that guy had that is really annoying. We're able to actually kill it. And now we're going to try to steal... We're going to try to get this on bot. Wow. We get it. Nicely done by our team. The rest of our team is just absolutely, frankly, useless. It's what it is right now. In this game, it's a bit unfortunate because look at this Gardevoir. Look at this Gardevoir all the way over there doing basically nothing. We're 10-0 here. Their Absol's doing really well as well, of course, but yeah. I could have stopped that. I could have and should have stopped that. I actually kind of almost don't care if they get points right now because it's all just about me, in my opinion. getting ready for this final fight. We'll fight this guy.
You're in trouble.
What a weird ult that was. Why in the world would you ult that, my dude? Get out of here, man. I really want that. I don't want them to have that. I could ult again. If I did it fast, I could ult again. Kind of looking for an opportunity. Just want to kind of defend. Kind of looking to defend here.
The final stretch. You can do it.
Why in the world will we ever surrender right now? We're actually doing great. I'm going to say no. I will go into the middle here and start fighting this guy. Yeah, team just not very great. I'm so fast. The dude can't catch up to me. Wow, I can't believe they were able to do that. And look at our team. Holy crap, guys. We did so well, 13-1, but our team just unable to do anything. We have so many points and we're just sitting there. So, wow. Wow, that hurt. That was tough. That was a tough game to play because we did so well, and unfortunately, man, I can't believe they were able to catch up. I'm pretty sure that she had to flash. I guarantee that she had to flash that. So, like, we just absolutely destroyed them, but it didn't matter. Did not matter because our team just was so far behind. I think we're okay to surrender here. We can't get anything else in. We can't really score anything else, and we are behind even though we got the objective. I don't know. There could have been maybe a different way that I could have gone to try to get the dunk in, but we would have needed everybody to get dunks in, and we just didn't have anybody that was able to do it. So, like, believe me, we are tough, we are thick, we are doing really well. We just don't have what we would need in order to be able to win this game in terms of teammates. So I'm pretty happy with my part of the game there. They absolutely wrecked us, but it was because we didn't have much of a team. It wasn't really because of us. We can go ahead and look at the stats, though. Even though this is a loss, I think this is a really good example of how absolutely powerful Machamp can be. 15-3. I just didn't get a lot of points because our team never had much going for it. So I think that when you're playing standard, it's kind of just sometimes you get teams that aren't as good as others. So GG, well played though. 15-3. We destroyed it. We did a lot of damage. That ult combo is what makes Machamp so very powerful. You definitely want to be using it correctly. We were pretty easily and standardly killing 1v3ing there during that game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And hopefully you guys learned about playing Machamp. See you guys next time. Peace out.